and he checks, and so you check it too. I think that was a pretty good license for you to be betting. And if he calls, you definitely can take the pot away on the turn with the right card. So the ace hits, you're good anyway. So at this point he checks and you're betting, and that's good. And I'm sure he's just keeping you in line in case you're bluffing the ace. And he shoves on, on the river, which makes no sense. So let's see. He's raised, he checked, and then he check called, and then he shoved. There's just, I don't understand anything that he might have that this makes any rational sense. So I'm calling this. I mean, unless he had jacks, right? But no, there's no way he had jacks. All right, call. Yeah, you called. He shows eights. Okay, so he was just being a sputard there on the river, and good job not going away and thinking it through. Hopefully you followed the same thinking I did there. Just when someone does something like that, and it just makes no sense, they're always weak. All right, some good discussion so far. Got eights. All right, now it's 35 cents. Not sure why you're not consistent with your betting. Maybe there's a reason, maybe there's not. I don't know. So you flop bottom set on a wet board, which is just always a barrel of fun, right? So you go ahead and bet it, that's fine, and he raises you. And this is just the worst. I mean, he might already be there. He's probably not, but it's probably a flip. There's no way you're going away, so I think it's just one of those things, like, just get it in, and it's probably a coin flip, I'm guessing. Because he probably has open-ended, and so what am I putting him on? I'm putting him on, not queen nine, king queen with one heart. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be what he has, or like something like ace jack with a heart or two hearts. So you go ahead and do the right thing there. I like it. He calls behind, which I don't understand. The 7 is not a good card at all. But we didn't put him on a 9. The 9 just didn't make any sense. I mean, unless he had pocket 9s. And that would just be a very unfortunate turn. So you go ahead and shove it, which I like. I think the draws go away, and the draws that call, you have a significant edge over. I can't get off my read that he has king queen with a heart. So he calls. I would have done this the same way. I really would have. Even though, like, I mean, 9, any 9 beats you, but it's like, did he really get in there with queen 9 or queen 7 or, you know, 9s make the most sense, but that's if he's beating you, and I don't think he's beating you right now. So he shows king queen with the heart. Oh, I love it when I get that right. That was kind of a lucky guess. So, and he hits. So crazy hand there. I guess I like your play there. And that was just one of the few outs he really had. So kind of just one of those crazy hands. Hopefully we'll find something a little bit more normal. He min raises. That's plenty weird. Min raises from the blinds are usually a monster and sometimes air, but usually a monster. So with ace 10, and you don't ever want to be in this position where you're like between a rock and a hard place, right? But this is actually just two really weird looking players. You're just letting this go. I don't think calling really has any benefit, even if you hit your ace. I don't think in this situation you know where you're at, because this guy's limping with ace jack or even ace queen, and this guy could have anything. So you couldn't call, and nothing good there. And you call, and I'm not sure why at all, because you've got one over a gut shot, no hearts. So it was a dubious call pre-flop, and now it's definitely a bad call here. But like all good play, it's rewarded, right? So you hit your gut shot, and chances are if he's on a draw, he's probably willing to get his money in, and he just might be chopping here. But he bets, and you've got to be raising, and you don't. And the reason you got to be raising is that there's a lot of other draws that with the clubs and the hearts. So you got to be raising there. You can't give him free cards. And of course, one of them hits. So he bets. You know, I mean, if you got a huge ball sack, I mean, go ahead and raise this, but I'm calling this behind every time. And you do too. Okay, so the brains win out here over the ball, so that's fine. And he shows a busted flush draw. So that, you know, gives you merit, actually, to look at, you know, that turn. You were a huge favorite. He leads into you, and, you know, you had to put him on a draw or something like a queen at this point. So you had to raise there. And I think you were maybe risking, like, okay, I'll give him a free card at the hope of being paid at the river. But I think he's calling, you know, a raise to $3 here for sure. So, and then he might just, you know, bluff the river, and if he shoved, it's just really crappy. You have to make a soul read, but I think as played and the way it turned out, it was fine. Okay, we've got sixes. So I guess this is an okay situation to be set money, but you're in the small blind. It's out of position. So if it had just been this guy, for example, it's a definite fold. But the fact that you've got this fish coming along makes it probably a worthwhile thing. You don't hit your set, and so you lead out. Don't know about that one. And he raises, and so this is a definite fold. Am I missing something here? I guess you got gut shot, backdoor flush thing going on. He checks, and then you hit your set on the river, which is real fortunate. And you lead out for $2. He's going to call, and you're going to win. Nope, he min raises. You're only calling this, and he shows the flush. So let's go back to the mistake made. And so I think the call there is fine. I think leading out here is definitely the mistake. And once this guy raises, he's telling you, I guess at worst, he's got 2 overs and a flush draw. He might have a set. He might have a straight flush draw. He might have overcards, but you're just not matching up well with anything he might have. And calling there is definitely a mistake. And then I have a feeling you're giving up, and then you're like, oh, well, I've got a chance to win this hand. You bet he min raises, which is just terrible for your circumstances, but calling, I guess you just kind of had to do. So, okay. Ace is raised. Guy shoves, automatic call. He shows ace king, and you hold up. I think we got 2 more hands. Guy raises there. Flatting is not bad. He folds to 3-bets a lot, so I might just 3-bet him here. But I tend to be a little too aggro for my own good out of the small blind. But, you know, it's definitely not a fold. And this is actually, you know, I talked about donk bet with the last hand. This is actually one of those hands where I might donk bet, where I'll just represent the ace right away. And I know he's only continuing if he actually has one. So we've got a check from you, and he bets. So maybe you're calling one time. Another ace comes, which makes you think that he may not have it, especially considering he steals 38% of the time. And so he pots it now. So I don't think he's bluffing here, and he's playing for his whole stack. So, I mean, you can't call this because he's getting it in on the river no matter what. So it's an all-in or nothing here for you, and it's definitely, in my opinion, a fold. And so you call. So I think what happened here is that maybe might have forgotten his stack size left once he saw the bet, and he just didn't credit him for an ace. So the queen comes, you checks, he goes all in, and you call, and he does have the ace. So I'm just trying to think what advice I can give here. I mean, it's kind of a cooler, I guess. The fact that he, you know, had an ace when there's 2 aces on the board and just was kind of unlikely, but he did represent it the whole time, and you got to watch that turn, and I think that's where you need to pay attention to how much does he have left, and, you know, he's got to know that he's committing his whole stack at this point. So I guess we got time for one more. Raise it with the aces. Bet, he calls. Definitely calling there. And I think it might have been okay for a little bet there on the river. But he just shows up with worse all the time. So decent job. Definitely seeing improved play out of you. So keep it up and play those hands strong. And always play tight poker.